how one frustrated husband asked him what he should do to convince his wife that he loved her. He asked, "What should I do to let this woman," that's the wife, "know that I love her? I love her so dearly, but she keeps complaining that I don't love her. Does she want me to do some acrobatic movements in front of her? Does she want me to stand on my head in front of her for her to know that I love her? I love her. What should I do?" Today, I am going to be answering that question. What should I do to let her know that I love her? I'll start today and I'll continue in the forthcoming episodes. This is Dr. Beatrice Tembi welcoming you to the Counselor's Desk. Let's start today to talk about companionship love. You know, I promised you I was going to borrow these terms from Tim and Beverly Laye's book, The Act of Marriage. I'm borrowing the term, but I'm going to give you what the Lord put in my heart, how to describe those different manifestations of love, okay? Great. Now listen, when a young girl is growing, part of her growth process is fantasies. Young girls fantasize a lot, and they always think of the husband they will marry. When a young girl is fantasizing about her husband, she's not thinking about sex. No. She's thinking about friendship, about companionship. Now, if this young girl was very close to her father, and you know, if the father were her friend, she would want to marry somebody like daddy. Okay? Now, if the father was not around, or was, you know, or if she did not have a father, maybe she grew up with a single mother, and she's fantasizing, she will be always thinking that she will marry somebody who would be like what daddy would have been to her. Friendship, companionship. No woman ever gets married with the thought of divorce. No, they just want somebody who would be with them forever. Okay? So a woman loves companionship, and a woman loves somebody who would be with her. Now look at this. Men may not understand this, but women love to cluster together in groups. Look at little girls in school during their playtime. You can see a little girl, you know, with her arm on the neck of another little girl, and they are just conversing and going around. Now when they grow up, women belong to all kinds of groups, you know. A woman can belong to about 4 or 5 groups, women's social groups. Oh, the Valley Sisters, the Dark City Sisters, oh, the Jolly Girls of the Hills, you know, Daughters of Zion. You know, I belong to so many of these groups myself. I even belong to a group called the Songbirds. We called ourselves the Songbirds. You know, so just to let you know, husband, that woman you're married to is a woman who loves companions, who love companionship. Now, if you marry a woman, and of course, because of her so many other activities, she may not have time to join all of those groups, and some of those groups are not even healthy, and she's at home doing one thing or the other, she wants to get companionship from you. Okay? So, she wants to get companionship love from you. You can't tell your wife, I love you. You can't think that the love you're giving to your wife will melt her heart like the flame melted the iron bar if you can't spend quality time with your wife. Okay? So in talking of this quality time, let me talk about 2 main things. Okay? The first one I want to talk about is outing, taking your wife out. Taking your wife out. It's very important to find time to be with your wife, just 2 of you. If you can find time in the home good and fine. And a place in the home where just two of you are there together. Maybe you put the children to bed early, and just spend the last hour of the day after the children have gone to bed together. Okay? Or you take her out. Outing is important. Now let's go to our book of universal principles again. Do you know that book? The book of universal principles, the Bible. In the book of Songs of Solomon, we see an example of outing there. I'll just read for you just 2 verses, okay? Songs of Solomon chapter 2, verse 10 and verse 13. This is what is written. My beloved spoke and said to me, rise up, my love, my fair one, come away, for lo, the winter is past, and the vines with the tender grapes give a good smell. Rise up, my love, my fair one, come away. So let's leave this environment. Let's go somewhere where we can breathe fresh air. Just 2 of us, my love, my fair one. Okay? That is the man talking to the lady. If you study this book, you know what I'm talking about. Now, in the same book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 11 to 12, it said, come, my love. This is New Living Translation. Nice, beautiful translation. Come, my love. Let us go out to the fields and spend the night among the wildflowers. Did you know such loving things are in the Bible? I always told you the Bible is a book of universal principles to succeed in life. Okay? Let us get up early and go to the vineyards to see if the grapevines have budded, if the blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates have blossomed. There I will give you my love. Where? In the open field where we are doing camping. That's God talking, explaining companionship love. There is no woman whose heart will not be melted by this kind of love. I am telling you, there is no marital problem that this kind of love cannot begin to give the solution to it. I'm going to continue in this kind of, different explanations. And by the end of this time of love, you will see that love is actually the universal solution to every problem in the world. Okay? Now, so outings are there. But do you know that you can go out with your wife and she's still lonely be sitting beside you? It is possible to be to be lonely sitting near your husband. I'm thinking of a story. A friend of mine told me a story about one lady who decided to go out with her husband one evening. The husband used to go out in the evenings that I'm going to hang out with the boys. I'm going to hang out with the boys and not take the lady. So the lady one day said, okay. When the husband was about to get into the car, she stepped up and said, I'm coming along. Let's hang out with the boys today. So the man and the whole house was alert. They had big children who saw their mother dressing up and whispering to them, I'll go out with daddy today. So everybody was looking at them. So the father could not say, no, don't come. So they drove off together. You know where they went to? They went to a drinking joint. As they came out of the car, the husband now moved very fast ahead and got into the room, the bar, a kind of bar. So the lady was coming in behind him, but looking at it from a distance, nobody could know that they were entering together or they were together because one was just going ahead. And the husband went and sat on a table where one lady was already seated and greeted the lady and sat down. The wife came to, greeted the lady and sat down by him. So after some time, other men sat there, probably friends, of the husband. And they were conversing, and they were drinking, and you know, the waiter came and asked for their, what will you drink? The madam said, I'll drink this. Everybody was just drinking. But the conversation did not include her at all. She was not introduced. The conversation did not include her. She could not even fit into all what they were saying. And her husband kept talking amicably to the lady that they met there, which made her think that maybe it was a kind of a rendezvous or so. But then she didn't want to embarrass herself. She stayed there until after about an hour. The husband said, okay, okay, see you, Len, I have to go. The husband stood up to go. She stood up and followed him. They got in the car, and they were just, everybody was like this, nobody talking to the other. They came back home silently, just to meet the living room filled with everybody in the house waiting to see the result of the outing. As they entered, the man just went straight to the bedroom. The woman went to the kitchen, and the children said, but what's happening, mommy, daddy, how was it? Daddy looked at the direction of the wife and said, ask her, she spoiled everything. The woman said, I spoiled everything. He said, mommy, what happened? Ask him, he spoiled everything. So that's how their outing ended. Can you say that woman had companionship love from her husband? Of course no. Listen to me, husband. Always involve your wife in a public gathering, okay? Involve her. Let her, not even involve, engage her. You don't need to talk with your mouth. You can talk with your eyes, okay? You can glance at her. This man would have done, listen, let me tell you what this husband would have done to give companionship to the wife and respect to her. He would have just, at one point in the evening, early on in the evening, say, hey, everybody listen to me, I have an announcement to make. Today I came with, the queen of my life or something, and then her hold her hand up and say, this is, in a way that people would applaud or something. He didn't do that. He didn't provide that lady companionship love. So the lady's desire to go out and be with her husband was not met. Even in church, if you're sitting with your wife, or maybe you are sitting in some platform, even in some function, you can be in a function where you are maybe on a high table or so, and your wife is sitting somewhere, you have to always glance at her. I've known of cases where women are trying to look at their husband to say, did I not tell you? Oh, that's the thing we're discussing at home or something. He's not even looking at her direction. She's lonely. She hasn't had any companionship, although two of you were in the same occasion. Okay. Now let me just progress a bit. So that's that. We've talked about outing, and don't make your wife lonely while seated near you. Communication. Talk with your wife. Talk with your wife. Don't give her, some husbands, I don't know, but that thing of just shutting down, giving her a kind of silent treatment is really, really not manly. It's not matured, and it's not manly. Okay? Have you heard of monosyllabic? I actually referred it in the dictionary. It's an English word. Monosyllabic husbands. You talk to a man, you ask a question, yes, no, maybe, perhaps. That's how a man is answering his wife. Can you imagine? How do you answer your wife like that at home or wherever you are? Yes, no, perhaps, maybe. Just brief sentences. It's so wrong. Okay? It's so wrong. Talk with your wife. Touch your wife. That's part of communication. Non-verbal communication. Wink at her. Okay? Blow a kiss at her. Okay? Smile. Give her a sexy smile. A smile that says, speaks volumes. Let your wife know that you are around, or you are conscious that she is around. That's it. Let it be in a way that, let your relationship be in a way that she would not want to go anywhere. I know of husbands whose wives have refused to accompany them out or to meet them where they are. Those are wives that don't have, they don't miss their husbands. They didn't have companionship, love in the first place. Okay, great. A woman told me, I think I have to end with this. At least you understand, the concept is there. Work on the concept, okay? A woman told me, and she said, my husband has dual personality. Dual personality. I had not really heard about that before. I said, what do you mean? He said, my husband is a different person when you and, because we were friends. You and the other friends are around. But when you people leave, it's another person altogether. I said, you mean it? He said, yes. This husband, you see, because when we used to visit, the husband used to play the guitar and we love to sing. So we will be singing with him and he will be so nice. Nice, friendly man. The wife whispered to me that as soon as we left, he would just come, withdraw himself and he would not be talking. So they are two different people. Can you imagine? And I believed her. You know why I believed her? One day I paid them a visit. I was a young unmarried girl. Listen to me. This wife invited me one Saturday to come help her with her housework. The husband was married, but many of us were not married. We were friends and we're Christians. We're brethren in the same assembly, same church. So the wife told me, please, can you come and help me? Can you come and help me this Saturday? I went. I cleaned the house, did the laundry, and but I noticed that the husband was in one side of the house with his guitar. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 playing his guitar. So when he's playing a song that I know, I will sing the song. The wife will not be singing. Then when we are doing something, and we are conversing, the husband will not. So will not participate in our conversations. I was going in between them like that. I didn't understand. Listen, when I was finished with my housework, the husband went to drop me. Somewhere along the road, he just cleared the car. He just pulled over and turned to me and asked me a question. He said, Beatrice, what did you come to do today in my house? I said, brother, your wife invited me to come and help her do housework. He said, oh, I thought as much. I wanted to hear that. So she's the one who invited you. I said, yes, of course. He looked at me and said, she sits there like a fat lump of fufu. I'm speaking the truth. I'm quoting him verbatim. She sits there like a fat lump of fufu, calling herself my wife. And then she calls other people to come and do her work for her. I was petrified. I was embarrassed. I was shamed. This is a brother in church that we look up to. This was our leader in church. It was so bad. That kind of a husband, I hope you are not the one. I hope you're not the one you are not the kind of man that will spend one whole Saturday not talking to his wife just because somebody was invited by that wife to come and help in the housework. I'm going to be continuing with this particular story in the next kind of love, compassionate love. Okay? By the time I'm through, you would understand what love means to a woman. So, God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell. Don't forget to like. And don't forget to share.